gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about
we left hook from Yaoundé came and landed on him, you know, so.
Hey, are we calling this the very first episode of King's Court MMA Meets?
We will.
Very first episode of the new series within King's Court MMA. Amazing Randi Field with King's Court Meets. It's a pleasure to meet you, Randi.
Nice to meet you guys too.
Awesome. Obviously we had a quick chat and Randi's just had a copious amounts of chocolate, so she's fully energized for this chat.
all the numbers.
I might have narcolepsy. Be careful.
Yeah, well, I live by caffeine. Sometimes I feel like, you know, I could live on a caffeine drip, to be honest, but not this week, and not after the amount of chocolate I've also consumed as well. It's been amazing. So obviously, we'll get straight into it, Randi. So, you know, I know we've tried to keep it fresh for Randi and for ourselves, and we've done our due diligence and tried to ask questions that she hasn't typically been asked before. So tell us about the beginning of your MMA journey, but from the point of you falling in love with good old Manny. Tell us about. Let's get the love juices flowing. We know we've missed Valentine's and so on, but tell us how that took you into the direction you're obviously and the path you're on today.
I love that was the first question you guys asked, because I don't get asked about Manny a lot, so it's really nice to be able to talk about him. You know, when Manny and I first met, I was 24 or turning 24 that year. You know, like I let a lot of people know, like, things were really rough for me before starting MMA. You know, like I had not a lot of direction. I drank alcohol a lot to cope with all of, you know, I don't know, I would say like I kept secrets, or, you know, like it was just like I just didn't feel good about myself. I kind of felt like ugly on the inside, and I ended up in the hospital for my mental health for about 2 weeks. And when I came out, it was like, okay, you know, you really have to put your head down and find something to cope with everything that you're dealing with. And I was a young mom. I had my daughter when I was 21. So not really feeling like I felt like my daughter deserved a better mom. All of these things. So they all kind of added up. So really, when he met me, I was very broken, and he saw something in me that I feel that some people did see, because, you know, I heard I had potential my whole life, which made me hate that word, because I was like, you're shit, but you could be better. So
you could be less shit.
But that's how I felt. So I was like, okay, you know, like, this guy sees something in me. He didn't really like me at first. He was so mean to me. Like, oh, wow. He was like, do you want to fight? And I was like, yeah. And then I go out and drink. And I say mean to me, I don't mean mean to me. I mean hard on me, because it was like he genuinely wanted me better. So, like, if I went out and drank, he was making me come in the next day to spar this massive woman. She's amazing. Her name's Mary Spencer, but she is so big. And I'm like just 5'3", and at the time I was like 120, so just a little thing. And he gave me a lot of tough love. And then you know, eventually I had my first MMA fight in 2015, and I think him and we just ended up developing a very close friendship. He really got to know me better, and he really got to see like the things that I aspired for in life, and that we had the same visions. And you know, I've been through a lot, so I know that I can help a lot of, specifically women, you know, with things that they've been through that is probably meant to completely destroy somebody, but I've come out on top. And that was like it. We just became very good friends, and then eventually he kissed me, and then I was like, "You're mine. You're not."
Well, Manny, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So yeah, 2017. We've been together since then, and he constantly is someone who challenges me and forces me to level up and mature into the woman that I am today, which is someone who's completely proud of themselves, and I love myself. So it's great.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. That was a loaded question.
Little love heart on the hat. Oh, in the air.
Thank you. Thank you for asking that question.
No, absolutely. Love the sound of him. Honestly, hubby goals. Would you say absolute goals?
Yeah. Say that again.
Would you say he's hubby goals, like man goals, like
like my trophy husband?
Yeah. Are you already the champion of the world with him on your arm?
Oh my God, yeah. I said to him, like, I really feel like I can do anything with him. You know, if there's anything that I want to do, I can do it with Manny because I'm a powerful woman and he's a powerful man, and us coming together, it was just like fire. And any guy should always make you feel like a queen. Like I feel like I have a tiara on my head all the time.
The missus is gonna be loving watching this interview. I tell you.
No. Yeah, we're both married now, and they're gonna love the fact that was our opening question. So we only just won ourselves brownie points. Just say.
Good.
And by the way, Randy, throughout this interview, you might struggle with the English accent. So there's gonna be maybe some slang that's gonna be thrown in here and whatnot. So we'll try your best.
I'll pick it up next time. I'll be saying the slang in our.
Cool. And sticking with I suppose MMA. Where do you want to be MMA wise in 4 years' time?
What if I say retired? I feel like I have like maybe 4 or 5 more years left in me. Like I would love to go out there and make a statement of who I am. And then, you know, we have fighters that are coming up around here in Windsor that I'd love to just like kind of pave the way for them and show them, you know, like I every single day I'm in the gym, whether it's training MMA or if I'm injured to not be able to practice, I'm still going and working out and keeping my physical shape up, you know, like it's just for our next future generation. And, you know, we have 3 kids, so I want to meet a goal. Like I would love to, you know, everyone's saying like put that championship belt on, and you know I'd love to have that mentality, but really like I just want to be successful. Like that's really what I want. I hate when people are online and talking smack about you and they're like, well, it's like, really, like, do you know what this person has been through in their life? And like if I do get a shot at a belt, like that's amazing, and that would be something that I could never even dream of, but it's possible, right? So yeah, I just kind of take it like year by year. I'm 33 this year, so not like the youngest in this sport. So
and almost seamless link, you bring up the mental health, which is also one of our questions, and how do you cope with that negativity online? Because just from speaking to you and seeing your past interviews, you seem like a super positive individual. But obviously we all know that, you know, the advice I give to especially young people, you know, I work in a very female dominated industry, and the advice I give to, you know, young up and coming, you know, young ladies is stay offline, because you know, people have that everyone's comparing themselves and forgetting that online is just the highlight reel of people's best bits, and they're not necessarily putting their worst bits. You know, you bring up mental health and rightly so, but how do you stay so positive in terms of, you know, the online negativity? Do you just block it out, or what are your coping mechanisms, so to speak?
I think a coping mechanism for sure is to put jokes onto everything. You know, like I just, like, my first post after reading all the comments is like, the worst people are saying is that my ass is fake, and I'm like, it's not fake. So really, like, you guys can keep talking shit, but I'm like, oh yeah, I can see how it looks like milk bags. I totally understand, you know, like these people make stupid comments, and it's like, even if they say I'm a shitty fighter, I'm like, okay, you know, you can say I'm a shitty fighter. I did do a very, very good job in this last fight, but there's so many little spots that I'm like, okay, now, yep, great, the fight's good. It's been almost 2 weeks, and now I'm like, okay, now I'm shit. This is the mistakes I made in this fight. So it's just like, this game is constantly something that's leveling up, and I'm not proving it to anybody but myself, and to make Manny proud. And I also have my coaches, Jason Fisher and Bob Perez too, like just seeing them and them telling me too, like how much I've evolved just as a woman. And that's something that really keeps me positive, is just knowing who I am, knowing I have a real ass, and that I can fight.
Maybe the title for the video: her ass is real, everyone.
That's it. No BBL.
Listen,
But you quickly mentioned there about your coach Bob Perez as well. I think he's a new addition to your coaching team. How much of a difference has that made, and especially with the fight at Bellator 293? How much has that impacted your performance, you think?
I think huge, because Bob is so nice. Like, Bob is like, if I'm doing a shitty job, he'll be like, that was kind of shitty. And that's like, I can take that in. But like, Manny's really hard on me. And I understand it's because of how he was coached. You know, he's a pro boxer and pro MMA. He's had over 50 fights. So that's how it was for them. But I think training women is a lot different. And Bob has all the women, whereas we're a very small group in here. Like, we have like 4 or 5 of us, and I'm the only girl. So, and he trains me the same way as he does the boys. So I think that just, me being able to really understand Manny's intentions behind things, because now I see that him and Bob have the same goals in mind with me. Just Manny says it a little bit like more rude.
Because you can.
You're freaking rude. I'm hiring someone else. Honestly, it's gotten a lot better, and like, I really, like, I feel like I'm understanding MMA more, and maybe Bob just says things differently that just I can get. Like, I'm very primitive, and I understand the body. I'm a full-time massage therapist. I'm registered, so like, I really understand how the body works. I'm like, you tell me the concept and I'll understand what I need to do. That's different.
And on that, again, seamless thing, being a massage therapist, can see, again, you're very well qualified in that area. One day, could we be speaking to, right now, are we speaking to a future Dr. Field or Professor Field or even Dr. Field PhD?
No, I won't go to school. I'm like, can I just be like, I would love to be like a grade school gym teacher. That's like I would love that. Just because I'm like, I got my hands on all these kids that are going to be our future, and I'm going to put shit in their face. You know, like, my daughter will have her friend come over. They'll say something stupid. I'll call them out, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's how life is. Hey, I get it. And if they're ever rude when they come over, they'll never come back rude again, you know? Yeah. So it's just to have that influence on, especially the next generation.
Yeah. But I mean, I can hear in your tone, obviously mentorship and coaching is very big in your life. So to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if once you finish fighting, you do become a professor, because I can see that in you. So quite shocked to say you wouldn't go to school, but maybe we'll get you an honourable degree from somewhere. And
that's what I'm saying. That's what I said too. Like, can I hide at Walmart?
Well, it's funny. I'm actually a lord, but I don't use the title. So, hey, you are speaking to a lord, by the way. Facts.
What?
Yes. This isn't my interview. Mardi can interview about that another time.
Marty, you held this out on me.
That's it. Little reveals.
Little nuggets here and there. And before we went into mental health as well, you also touched on kind of the injury. So obviously yourself, you had massive injury back in 2020 in terms of neck and elbow reconstructive surgery. Again, how did you cope with that mentally and stay so positive through that process? Because I believe that was also at the hands of an overzealous and somebody a little bit too aggressive in training as well, wasn't it?
Yes, it was not my neck though. My neck, thank God, has never been injured. It was my elbow. Yeah, there was like this big guy that was training with us, and you know, sometimes, especially I think if people are new, they feel a woman I'm strong and I'm very technically sound. And, you know, if I got the better of him, he decided to just pile his weight on top of me. And then when I pushed off, I'm like, listen, I'm not going anymore. And I kicked out from underneath him. I sat up and he just came around and like football tackled me, and my arm just bent backwards. And it was like, oh my God. And that was just when I signed my Bellator contract. So then it was like, I just got signed, and then I got shelved for, it was a year. I fought 10 months after my surgery. So I had that surgery in December. And then I fought in October. But naturally, like when you're doing things, you're scared. Like I can't fully extend my arm. So, you know, throwing that right hand, I was a little bit nervous. And I think you could really see that in my fight with Sumiko. Like, I was very, I gassed so fast. It was like anxiety and like everything just kind of came out at once. But, you know, I had been off for 2 years. So even when I fought Ashley, who I just fought, she was off for 2.5 years. I'm like, that doesn't mean anything. She still has all that experience. She's still, like, she's been training. I think I watched an interview of her from 2020, and she had been training for 13 years at that point. So for me, I'm just coming up to, what is it, 9 years, I think. But it's like that experience and all that kind of adds up. And, you know, I think overcoming the injury was huge. The thing you read about my neck, I think you were reading about my ATV accident when I was in grade 8. I got into a 4-wheeler accident, and I had 150 stitches in my face here. I did break my back. I broke all my teeth. I was in the ICU for 3 days. So they thought I wasn't going to make it at that point. But then everything just kind of, like, everything healed up and came together. So what's really cool is that I don't have feeling on the left side of my face. So if you notice, I threw how many slip jabs, or if I just throw my head down when I threw, because if she hits here, like, there's nothing. There's nothing there. It's like I have this whole air, like this. It's from like here to back here. Yeah. I feel nothing. It's that's a secret. That was my secret. Oh,
yeah, maybe we should cut that out.
Yeah, that's like my superpower.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want all your opponents knowing your kryptonite now.
Yeah. Whatever, still come at me. Let's go. Yeah, so that was the accident that I think you guys read about. And then I've had, oh my God, there's so many injuries that come with this. I tried to share them on my OnlyFans because, you know, that's what you think you'd have an OnlyFans for, to share the real life of MMA, but they don't let you show those things. Like, I've had to get like PRP in my hip. I have 2 cysts in my hip and a torn labrum. You know, like, there's all these things that we just kind of work through that people will talk about. They just talk shit.
Yeah.
But they don't know.
And there's me. I mean, just going into the school, I was complaining about that I need a couple of recovery days. I've just done 4 days hard in the gym, and my back is stiff as heck. Yes. I'm listening to you, and my back's like, "Shut up, you weakling." You
gotta do some yoga.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah, some Pilates as well. Talking about recovery, actually, let's go into that. What piece of recovery can you not live without?
Oh my God, heat. I don't know, heat. I was saying, like, even in one of my, like, I have a heated blanket on right now. I love just being hot and Epsom salt baths, and that is something for sure. But I mean, I get treated in massage probably like two or 3 times a month, maybe. That's just to keep everything healthy and going. A lot of my own self-care that I do, but definitely heat is something that I need for recovery.
And I suppose, being an expert and a massage therapist, who therefore massages the expert? Whose hands do you trust more than your own?
I have 2 girls. One's named Pam and one's Jamie, and they are together. They're amazing. So they, it's really nice that I have one girl that just comes to my house and works on me here. I could fall asleep and wake up. It'll be 2 hours later, and I feel great. She just, it's awesome.
Okay, give it. Pass on my details to her, please.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Amazing. Let's quickly dive into the MMA business side. What aspects of the MMA business would blow the minds of people who aren't in the business?
Can you rephrase and ask me that a different way?
So what behind the scenes would blow our minds and the minds of anyone listening in terms of the business side of being in MMA?
We don't get paid a lot. It's, I don't know, minds, but we're poor. I think, like, even in that way, and like you know, another thing is like finding fights. You know, like when we're looking for fights, it's really hard. Sometimes it's like, hey, you're going to take this fight, or you're not going to fight for another 4 months. So I think that, you know, when they accepted my fight with Ashley, if I had watched Ashley fight prior, I would have been like, hell no, I'm not fighting her, because they accepted the fight. I was confident in my team and all that. And then eventually, like, my coach is like, why aren't you watching her fight? Like, what, like, you should see what to expect. And I was like, okay, fine. And I watched it and I was terrified. I was like, she's going to whoop my ass. You know, like, how do you guys think I can beat her? And I think that, you know, people don't see the vulnerable side of fighters, because a lot of times we're out there and we're, you know, talking all this smack, but really, like, we don't have control over who we're fighting. You know, so I don't know, maybe that might blow someone's mind.
And I heard you mention that you were quite nervous going into that Ashley Cummings fight, but now 10, 11 days after the fight, how do you feel now? More confident? What's your outlook on fighting now?
I'm just like, you know, I know she had that 2.5-year layoff or whatever, but like, I know how good she is. And I'm like, no disrespect to Ashley, she's amazing, but like, I made her look like that. And she's a very good fighter, you know? So I feel that, like, I'm a lot better than I give myself credit for.
Yeah, damn right. And I think you mentioned as well, like, I think before 293 going into that, you had 2 fights left on your Bellator deal. Are there now talks for an extension to that? Obviously, with performances like that, or a 2-fight win streak, you're a star in the making, really and truly. So
I hope so. I just, like, while I was at work, I missed a FaceTime call from my manager. So after we're done this, I'm gonna find out what they said, because after my press conference, I did get slipped a little secret. So we'll see if that's something that's actually attainable, you know, because at the end of the day, like, if I really want to be successful in this sport, I don't want to keep having to stress to gain weight, to stay at 125. Like, I don't feel good. You know, I feel better when I'm lighter and I can move and be fast, because that's what I am. I'm fast and I'm explosive. So I really want to capitalize on what I'm good at in this sport, and it's not out muscling these girls. Mm-hmm.
So can you give us a little taste? Is it 115? I'm hearing.
Oh, where's the tea? Spill the tea. I'm gonna say both of you. Hold sipping tea right now.
You know,
No, they just asked me if I really was interested in the 115, having them open up the 115, and I said yes, and they said that they're going to see what they can do for me. So I don't know if it's going to be like a tournament. If I have to compete in that tournament, that will friggin' suck, but I'm game for it, you know. Let's go. But I think, like, you know, Bellator is getting, like, they have a lot of amazing fighters, and they have, like, potential to do this, and 115 is huge. There's so many girls that fight at 115. I feel like 105 might be a little bit, like, maybe too small for that, but I do really feel like 115 is like your average woman. We're walking around about 135, you know. So I think that that's really a smart move.
Base. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Cool. And who would you, in terms of past and present, who would you call out as your MMA goats?
Shevchenko, 100%. Yeah. I really enjoy watching Valentina. I really enjoy watching Rose. I really enjoy watching Joanna. Those are really, like, the girls that I really admire. I admire how they move. You know, I'm a striker. They're strikers too. I watch how Shevchenko, I feel like I'm not sure if I didn't do my research right, but, you know, just her simple takedowns. You know, like, she's strong enough to just be able to sweep people off their feet. And I'm like, that's what I'm comfortable with. When you get past 30, like, your neck is like, I don't want to shoot in for that shot and get freaking smashed in the hip and all that. So, yeah, I watched them a lot. I watched them. There was one of my fights that I watched the Rose and Joanna fight over and over and over again. And I listened to the Joe Rogan podcast, and I could hear him saying, like, you know, how you need to be mean and how you need to be vicious in there. And, you know, like, it really inspired me to push through a lot of my fights and get the win.
Awesome.
And how important is it now that I know that you do some work at CSA down in California as well? How important is it that you have a plethora of girls to be training with as well, like the likes of Jessy, Jess, and other names? How influential is that for you?
I think it's really great, like just in the fact that those girls are tough. Those girls are scary. They're intimidating, and the fact that I went in there and I can hold my own with them, it gave me a big confidence boost. It really helped knowing that these girls genuinely wanted to help me, and I feel like if I was some bum off the street, they wouldn't have reached out to help me. It's just like mentally that helped a lot. Traveling and seeing them, and just I'm happy I've met them because Jessy's very popular, and I'm really happy to say that I know her very well.
A really quick one. Do you train with Amber as well?
Amber,
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see her performance on the weekend?
That was amazing.
Oh
that
my!
Was amazing. It was like I tried to make a little funny reel of like, what did you say about my mama, and then do my like slaps. But then I was like, oh no, what did you say about Amber's mama? Because that was beautiful. Fucking Amber. Oh, sorry, I don't know if I can say. Amber had me in a Muay Thai plume when we were sparring, and just frickin' going off with the knees, and I was like, oh my God, get away. I'm 5'3". She's a lot taller than me. So it was like, oh my God, but I could hang, it was fine. But yeah, Amber's cool as hell.
We'll look to make that real for you. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
We got you.
Yeah.
Go to sleep. And outside of your own camp, who is your MMA BFF, or who would you wish was your MMA BFF if you could have one outside of your own camp?
Oh my God. Oh no. Who would I want? Well, I mean, I would love a big name fighter for sure to beat my ass. Like if I could train with Rose. I just seen one of my old teammates, Elise Anderson. She just posted a picture with Rose, and I mean, that's something that I could only dream of doing. So I could go with Rose. Yeah, let's fight, Rose. Let's train. Not fight. I don't want to fight. I mean, just train.
I think you guys would get on. I think you guys would be like genuine BFFs. So yeah, you need to get at least to make that introduction happen ASAP.
I think they could. I think we're both managed by Sucker Punch, so we were on the same poster one time.
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome! And who would you say is the wildest person you've met in the MMA community? Who's just an absolute crazy person?
Absolute crazy person. To be honest, I would say I'm gonna say Manny, because I have watched Manny lay a beating on somebody before. Like it was like I was like, please stop. Like it was probably the craziest thing I've ever seen, and it was probably in 2015 or 16 or something. But like I've seen Manny like stone cold knock people out. Like I think he's one of the craziest people that I've able to like see in action like that. Not to toot my own man's horn or anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say. My man.
Yeah.
He protects me. Awesome. Just thought we'd go into a quick fire round as well. So you've got to answer these questions really fast. Snappy. Are you ready?
Well, you better pronounce the words very well if you want to snap. Just go very slow.
It's on me. Okay. Nunes versus Pena. Who you got?
Nunes.
Submission or TKO?
TKO.
Sauna or ice plunge?
Sauna.
United States or United Kingdom?
States.
Oh. BJJ or judo?
Oh, BJJ. I love judo though.
Massage or skipping?
Massage.
Boom, that was it.
Oh, I'm getting all like tense and my beanbag chair.
It's like, who wants to be a millionaire? And just some I won't go too much into the weight cutting because I think you kind of covered that a little bit. Oh, last one I missed out. Sweet or savory? Sorry.
Sweet.
Sweet. Oh, so you go French toast over your salmon and rice.
Oh yes.
Come on.
Nice.
Come on, right now.
So just some questions I'm curious about. On a scale of 1 to 10, how painful are calf kicks on the receiving end?
Jess's are a 7 for sure. But like in the fights, I don't think I've felt one.
Really?
Oh, fair play.
How much sting is taken off a calf kick when you actually check them?
I think quite a bit, to be honest. Like I've checked kicks and felt nothing before.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people though, like I thought you were supposed to like smash your broomstick on your calves. So like I've done that. I've like beat the crap out of them, just to kind of condition them.
Tony Ferguson, have you ever seen how he just conditions his legs by just kicking trees and then
I would never kick a tree.
lots of micro fractures, yeah.
Yeah.
Far. That's too far. Broomsticks are all right, but trees.
Yeah. Let's not go crazy here. Tony, take it easy, Tony.
And does it actually hurt to land a low kick? So if you're the sender, does it hurt?
In a fight, no.
No. Oh.
I haven't. I mean, one day you might see me go like, and it might hurt, but I have not had one yet.
Could it be because your left side is also your left leg can't feel anything like that bit? And
Nope.
just go, no.
That's pure adrenaline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking if you've got another hidden power that you wanted to leak out to the masses.
My last fight, I dislocated my thumb at some point. I don't know when, but like it
Didn't feel
completely
it.
popped out, and you just don't feel it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Adrenaline, amazing. And any more from yourself, mate?
Yeah, just a couple ones. You said that you were going to take your daughter to Cuba after this last fight. Have you been? Is it still yet to come?
No, we're going in May. We're going at the end of May. Her and I, like, she hasn't been anywhere really with me yet. So like I've been traveling all around the world these past couple of years, but I feel like it's just been a little bit tough. So we got a little bit ahead this time. So I was like, Cuba's a safe bet. If I win or lose, I can afford to take us. So yeah, we're heading out there at the end of May.
Beautiful. It's an amazing place. I've never been. It's on my list, but I've heard it's incredible. It's like going back into a time portal, apparently. It's like going back into the 1950s and 60s because everything's just like stuck in time in terms of the cars and the buildings and everything else.
You need to bring your own ketchup and your own peanut butter. Okay. Like my Canadian friend told me to bring this.
Wow.
I just feel like it. And again, I think happy birthday is in order. Your birthday's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Happy birthday in a few weeks.
Thank you. I'm still 32 though.
32 is a great age. Same with me. So
yeah,
like
I'll be 33 April 25th. So it was nice last year. They let us stay in Hawaii a little bit longer because I fought I think it was the 23rd. They have another fight coming up on the 22nd in Hawaii. That's like a year anniversary for that. Yeah.
Is your name going to be on that, do you think? No, too soon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they like when I said on my interview after, I was like, I want to fight one more time this year. It was like everyone was like, yeah, you're funny, you're fighting twice. I'm like, oh fuck, okay.
And I know you don't like smack talking, you don't like calling people out, you just leave that to your management and your coaches. There must be a name, there must be somebody on that roster that you're thinking, I want a piece of them.
No, I've been looking at people like, maybe it's just because like I'm not looking at Bellator people. I've been seeing like girls in Invicta that I've been watching, and we're of similar records that I just kind of am like, oh, I would do really good against you. Like I'd love to fight you, but to be honest, I feel that if people talk smack and then they lose, they look so dumb. I'm like, why would you even talk smack anyways? First. And then second, like, I feel like even, with my last fight, when people are like, oh, kick her ass and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, man, I respect everything she does in her real life because really fighting is just one little piece of our lives. Like I've kind of evolved my life around it. But when I say that, I mean my schedule. You know,
Yeah.
like I'll wake up in the morning, I go to the gym, I come home, I work, and then my kids come home, I cook dinner, and then I go train again, and then I come back, and then, you know, we have our little bit of family time. But like things are busy. We have like so much going on, and I just went off a tangent there, but I don't like to talk smack. There's nobody, I don't see anybody that I'd want to fight right now.
Apart from Rose, but
And I don't remember names all the time, so that's
and for me, with no knowledge of who our next guest will be, what question must we ask them from you?
From me?
Yeah, from you. You don't have any knowledge of our next guest. What question do we have to ask?
Do you know who your next guest is, if it's a guy or a girl?
It will most likely be a guy.
yeah.
Most likely be a guy. Does he have OnlyFans?
I don't think he does.
So, but
I don't know. See, being put on the spot is not good, but I bet you I'll message you something hilarious to ask him soon.
We'll take
that's
that.
fine. We'll take it, definitely.
I think it's funny to play with the guys who have OnlyFans because, like, you know, it is such a, I don't know if you can not post this, but it's such a strange platform. Like, people are so weird, and it's like you kind of want to figure out what's the weirdest thing like people are saying to men, because I know the stuff I'm getting, so I'm like, I kind of want to know like what people are saying to them.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm terrified to even go down that rabbit hole, but I'm gonna take your word for it.
Oh yeah, don't go down it. I wish I would times.
I can imagine going down it at like midnight and my wife coming down and like, what are you doing? I'm just market research.
I heard the pedal one. That was pretty weird.
That was so weird. And
like
even that, like people say weird things, but then it kind of makes you like, you know, I don't know if this person seen me at the grocery store because of what they said, and it's like,
yeah.
Well, they can just be any name on there, right? Like user 2374. It's like, oh.
Yeah, but they just don't have knowledge that Manny doesn't play around. So if they knew that, I'm sure they would chop off their own fingers and
I know. I definitely agree. Remember that craziest motherfucker I've ever met? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
all right, awesome. If I think of anything, I'm gonna send you something now. I'm sorry, I wasn't entertaining for that question.
There you go. That's what I did tee you up right at the start. I said we're going to try and ask you questions that are going to make you think and highly stimulate you. So yeah, glad we got you with that one at least.
Yeah, you probably.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
No, it's been incredible. Yeah.
You're a star in the making. You're doing bits in the MMA scene. Hopefully your fans in the UK will grow now.
Yeah. My family in the UK.
Family as well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you've done the hereditary test, haven't you? Isn't it all? Is it Irish as well?
Yeah. Irish. Well, yeah, and then the French, German, and it was so funny because you're hoping to be all these like
exotic,
cool things, and then you're like, okay, I'm Irish. Let's go. But it's okay. It explains a lot of my tendencies. Like, oh, makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
No more drinking for you.
You read my mind because the Irish do like a drink. So.
Oh, yes, they do. Yes. So. Yeah. Well, that was a pleasure. That was awesome. 45 minutes. Nice and joyful.
Awesome.
Podcast. Thank you.
Awesome. No, we'll like I said, like Mardi said, we enjoyed following your journey so far. Looking forward to your next fight. Hopefully we'll be there, press conference, post fight. No, thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been an absolute pleasure, and loads of love to Manny, the family and the children, and have an incredible birthday and a beautiful trip to Cuba as well.
Thank you so much, guys. It was nice to meet you.
Oh, thank you, Randi.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye, Lord. Bye. Have a good one, guys. See ya.
Take care.
See you
Bye.
next.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about that.
Left hook from Yaounde came and landed on him, you know, so